So here we are at the end of 2020, and I am sharing with you today my favorite palettes of the whole year. I bought probably in excess of 40 palettes, which I know is excessive and consumerism at its worst. I didn't even realize I had indulged quite so much. So I really spent some time narrowing it down. Which ones were my favorites of all of those palettes? Which ones were the ones that I went to the most, that I wore the most? Which ones were the ones that I felt like had the best quality? And what you're gonna hear today is what I ended up with. So if you're in the market maybe for some new makeup and you've seen a lot of the releases, but you're wondering how do they compare to each other? If I can only get one, if I can only get two, if I can only get three, which ones would I pick? Well, I have a handful for you to choose from today. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, stick around. We're about to get right into it. So I'm Mona. This is About Face with Mona. This is a channel geared towards a mature woman. We talk about skincare, lifestyle, and beauty. Today is a fun video because it's a favorites video, the best of videos. I love doing these, I love watching them. I think we get the most bang for our buck in these kind of videos because we see how things compare against each other. When you're on YouTube, you use and buy a lot of makeup. Well, if you're a beauty influencer. I have so many palettes. I went back and swatched and tested and looked at the ones that were in my top drawer, the ones that have stayed in my top drawer, the ones that I go to over and over and over again. That's these. So let's not waste time, let's get right into them. They're not in order because I'm gonna have another video in this series that is gonna be the very best of 2020, and it's only gonna be one of every category. Like the best palette of 2020, the best lipstick of 2020, the best mascara of 2020, the best foundation of 2020, you get it. So I don't want to tell you which one that is now. These are my favorite palettes of 2020. I'm going to start with the most fun palette of 2020. And that is the Tiny Marvels palette. This was a collaboration by Sydney Grace and the lovely Mel Thompson. This was such a fun palette. It was a little bit out of my comfort zone. I tend to be boring and like neutrals. This was so much color and so much fun. Sydney Grace's quality of her eyeshadows are spectacular. I have created my own Z palettes with her single shades, and I've also purchased a couple of her palettes. I love the collaboration that she did with Mel. This has been fun. I'm still using it. I think this is seasonless. I think you can find combinations to wear any time of the year. Another one. This was my favorite summer and fall palette. This is the midi size Natasha Denona Bronze palette. It's probably no surprise that this is in my choices. I wore the heck out of this palette. These two dark eggplant and purplish shades were among my favorite. I love rust colors. I love colors of fire and ember. These shadows did not disappoint. This is my favorite size that Natasha Denona makes, this $65 midi size. I will never declutter this one. Another fun palette for the summer, one that I really enjoyed, was by Dior. It was the Color Games in the Color Story Sprint. This right here. I love this peach and orange and pink and brown combination. To me, it was so fun, and it gave you that little punch, but it was still neutral and still neutral enough and still in my comfort zone. Love this, love this. This is a staple. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Instant Eye Palette. I like all of Charlotte Tilbury's eye makeup. Pretty much all of it. This is a winner. This is so versatile. This will take you from day to evening to glam to everyday to neutral. You have more mattes in this palette than you do shimmers, which is rare for Charlotte Tilbury. So I think this is the perfect companion palette, and she just came out with her nudes, which I don't like quite as much. That would be one that maybe was slightly not my color story. This one pairs well with almost every other palette in my collection, especially every other palette by Charlotte Tilbury. So when I want to create a look with one of her quads and they have so much shimmer in them, and I want a little bit of matte in there, I combine two of them. This is another hit. This is one of her newer releases for the holidays. This is the Fire Rose Luxury Palette. The packaging is beautiful. She really did a great job with this palette. This palette, oh my goodness, this palette is fantastic. These colors are also rich and fiery and embery. But that matte, oh my goodness, that matte. Look how pretty this color is. And this color. And this color. And this color. This is gorgeous. If you had to pick one of Charlotte Tilbury's quads and you like these colors, the quality is there. The color story is wow. I love this palette. Pair it with this palette and you have a really good combination right here. I like this Born This Way Natural Nudes palette. I know it was a hit for some and a miss for others. There are some people who gave it really bad reviews. I think that this is the perfect travel palette. I can get any look. I can glam it up. It has enough shimmers mixed in that I can get any kind of look I want. And what I really like is that I have this color right here, which is a matte cream color that I can put all over my lid as a base. I can use it under my brow bone. I can use it as a blending shade. So I like to pair one of these two palettes with all my quads and some of my other palettes as well. Between these two, they can take me pretty much to any look that I want. I can't do my favorites without talking about this Clarins quad. Nobody talks about Clarins. I don't know if I'm the only one in the world who loves it as much as I do. I love the case. This is 03. This is Flame Gradation. These were beautiful fall colors. These are colors that remind you of flames snapping in a fire. This shimmer could be my only shimmer ever. I could use this shimmer with every single look that I want to shimmer for. It is the perfect kind of texture. It is the perfect kind of colors for mature women and mature eyes. The formula is so good for mature aging eyes. I love this. I've gotten so much use out of it, and I know that this is going to continue to be a favorite. We can't talk about favorites without talking about Pat McGrath. Pat McGrath as a whole is one of my favorite brands. I don't always enjoy her customer service, but her products are beautiful. They are lovely. And probably her favorite palette of this year that she came out with was the Divine Rose 1. These colors are so versatile and so everyday, and you can get such a beautiful soft glam look with them. And you do have the special shades in there to punch it up. If you combine that with the Divine Rose 2, then you can have the perfect pizzazz or everyday look. I like the deeper colors in this for the outer V, like this one. And I love her trichrome, I think it is, here, which I actually cracked. You get like that green pink shift. So very pretty. Can't talk about favorites, even though this is new, without talking about the Tom Ford First Frost Quad. I am not a big Tom Ford enthusiast. For a lot of his things, I think they're overpriced. For most of his palettes, I think they're meh. They're okay. There's nothing wrong with them. But I don't think they're worth the price. Something about this color story called out to me, and I have not been disappointed. I like his wet dry formula. I do like to use them wet. And these colors I think are just so beautiful for winter and for the holidays. And I think pairing them, they all have a little bit of a shimmer. There's no flat matte in here. They're not too sparkly. It's really kind of the perfect shimmery palette. And if I mix it with this palette or this palette, I get the perfect look. But I can wear this as a standalone, and I really do enjoy these shades. Look how pretty that is. And this is dry, and you can wet it for a more intense look. And you can see that that's like a beige shimmer. It's light, it's very pretty. And this is so I think this color story is so pretty. I love it. I love this palette. I'm not sorry that I spent the money on it. I don't regret it. I would buy it again. I would recommend it. If you're a first-time Tom Ford buyer, I would pick this one up. He just came out with another one that has more of the rose colors, the fiery colors, kind of like the Charlotte Tilbury. I picked that one up too. It's actually in my purse, but I prefer this Charlotte Tilbury Fire Rose to that. This is kind of an honorable mention. This is the Extravagance palette by Marc Jacobs. I've really enjoyed this palette. I think that this green shade is really beautiful. This is a beautiful gold. My favorite is probably this taupe color right here. I like all of these colors. This dark color, this dark rich brown is really, really great as a liner, as an outer V color. And this color, this is one of those colors that I like to have with me all the time. This is that cream color, maybe just a little bit of an eggshell off-white. It is perfect for wearing all over your lid or underneath your brow. I like the look of the palette. I like the mascara that was released with this. I really enjoy this one too. Last but not least, I will tell you that two of the mini palettes by Natasha Denona were favorites. And that was the Mini Glam and the Mini Retro palette. It's another one that I have crumbling all over the place is the Mini Glam. But it is very well loved and well used. I think this is such a good palette. And I didn't think that I would wear the Mini Retro palette as much as I'm wearing it. But I really dig it, really dig it. So I think that is everything from the palette's perspective. I will just mention that I like cream eyeshadows. I like one and done looks on the everyday. I think cream is very flattering when you get to be my age. And when you have hooded lids, it's only so much you can do. There is some magic. You can work with your eyes and you can apply your eyeshadow in a certain way for hooded lids. But I can't get the skin to just hop up off the bottom of my eye. I just can't. So I really love these chromium liquid eyeshadows that Natasha Denona came out with. Yes, they are small. Yes, they are pricey, but I am still wearing them and I wear them a lot. I have 3 of them. Why won't this focus? There we go. This is the Infra Nude. I like that you can just have one little pop. So if you're boring like me and mostly you wear nudes or you don't wear a lot of eyeshadow, you could just take one little swipe of this. One little swipe, just a little swipe across the lid. If you want to bring it up a little bit, you can. And it shifts. This is the green and pink shift, but they have different combinations. And it makes it look like you have a little pizzazz, like you did a little fancy look, but you didn't. You just put a little swipe. And I like to wear this with another look and just use it just on my lid, not in my crease, not above my crease. That way, you're seeing a regular look when you look at me straight on like this, But when I do this, or I look up, or I look down, then you catch a glimpse of this in the sun, in the light, just a peek. And it's just a little exciting, and it's a little extra special. And I've been in a restaurant, sitting down, having a meal with somebody, and when I'm looking at them like this, my look looks a little boring, or a little everyday, typical Mona style. And then I'll look down, or I'll look up, or I'll look across, and they'll catch this glimmer, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, your eyeshadow is so pretty. And it's these. Love them. I think they're so fun. If you like a staple, everyday, more neutral color look, but you just want a pop of fun, consider picking up one of these. These are so fun. And I think they're still age appropriate, especially the way I wear them. But you could slather them all on if you want to, because there are no rules when you get to be our age. We followed rules our whole life. Now we're making the rules. We're making the rules for ourselves. Now if I want a one and done look, and I want a cream eyeshadow, I'm gonna go with Steela's Kitten, or I'm gonna go with Charlotte Tilbury's Eyes to Mesmerize. I do have some Revlon ones. I have some drugstore ones that work very well too, and we can look at those later if you want. But overall, my favorites are the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize formula. I love these. I love them. I have all of them. These are the two new ones. This is the beautiful color Sunset Rose. This is the beautiful color Copper Sunrise. And they're the same beautiful formula. I have opened these, but I have not swatched them because I'm trying to decide if I'm going to make them a stocking stuffer or if I'm going to keep them. But I'm probably going to keep them or put these in a stocking and get my own. Because for every day, I really love this formula. You can't beat it. That's all I have. I hope that was fun. We're gonna do a couple of more in this series, maybe a few more depending on how long and what else I have to show you guys. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed filming it. Tell me what are your favorites in the comments below. Everybody who leaves a comment below and tells me what their favorite eyeshadow is will be entered into a giveaway for a Coke and Dough powder. I have accidentally bought 3 Coke and Dough moisture pressed powder formulas. I think they're like $63 in value. Anybody who is above 18 or below 18 that has your mom's permission can enter. It doesn't matter if you're international or not. This is for anyone. All you have to do is put your favorite palette of 2020 in the comments. I know you want to be entered. I will have those results in 7 days. So until then, take care of yourself, be safe, and live like Mel.